Very rarely as a specialist, you might be called on to do the task of an assassin due to the lack of a speedy character on your team. This video will focus on Vaan and how you can use as many unique tools and HP attacks to cut Marksman down to size. Let's begin by going over his bravery attacks. Starting with both his neutral braveries, they're nothing really that special, except the way they're animated is very unique. I'd almost consider like a point-to-point style, very snappy in the way it's animated, almost like he's going to pose, to pose, to pose, without much fluidity in between each swipe of his sword. The lack of smoothness in these animations makes it a little bit more sneaky than other characters' neutrals. Other than that, it's not worth mentioning, really. It's okay, it's a neutral attack. What do you want? If you manage to get close to a marksman and they start running away from you, you can use a projectile running in a straight line away from you to hit them. The projectile is surprisingly fast and has pretty good tracking for what it is. If anything goes awry, like somebody coming to attack you, you can just dodge out of the way or just block too. The animation for it is very short. Finally, onto his dash attack. Now, this is like the one good thing about Vaan that sets him apart from the other characters other than his 2 HP attacks. This attack has surprisingly good tracking for what it is. It speeds him up just enough to catch up to people who are running away from him, or if they're both dashing together. The poise is active for quite a long time during it, and the hitbox is quite big for a simple little dash attack. It has a bit of startup lag, of course, but as long as you're not inside the projectile, you should be able to kick them away easily. Now onto his HP attacks. We'll rank them from worst to best when dealing with marksmen specifically. Starting with White Whirl. It sounds good on paper, blocking all projectiles that come at you other than HP projectiles, in which they'll both just cancel each other out, but if you want to fill in the role of an assassin, this just takes way too long. It's good for its intended purpose, being a big obstruction for everybody in the enemy team, rather than just being for marksmen only. There's other HP attacks to equip other than this one, but this might be good for, other players if you're having problems with them as well, or you feel you're going to have problems with the other teammates on the enemy team. But for this specific strategy, it's just too slow for us. Now on to the next one, which is Red Spiral, which I just used in the footage. His other melee HP attack is better at punishing marksmen for stupid dodges and simple little mistakes, and as you climb higher in the ranks, marksmen get better at dodging, making this more and more hard to use against them. Still a good defensive melee HP attack though. If you end up using this attack, more likely than not, you're going to end up hitting a lot more melee characters than projectile characters. So those are the two kind of avoidance ones, the ones you don't really want to bring by themselves or both together, because they aren't as good as the following few. Calamitous Orb is a great support style HP attack, and it's amazing when used against a marksman as well. It forces whoever you're targeting to move, meaning that you can get people away from you, and possibly force that marksman to slightly shuffle, which means wasted stamina for them. It's also great against characters like Y'shtola who can't glide during the projectiles, because they have to keep dodging away or dashing away from it. However, with its kind of slow movement speed and its really loud projectile noise, it's god-awful by itself. For how many times you cast it, this thing almost never hits by itself. It always misses, it always dives before it hits the person, etc. It just never lands, ever. It's a good support tool, but not good as an actual direct HP attack. A good projectile HP attack you can use directly, however, is Pyroclasm. It requires a bit of charging, so you can't directly compete with the enemy marksman's projectiles, but as long as you shoot it first, you should be fine. It's kind of like a souped up version of your backwards bravery the longer you charge it. It gets fat, it gets better tracking, it stays alive longer, it goes further. It's amazing. It's also just a very all-around HP attack, pissing all the enemies off. Even from a marksman-centered perspective, you can still use it to get other enemies off your shoulder. Very convenient. We're almost at the end of this video now, y'all. Anyways, the second best in my opinion is Azure Torment. This thing is nearly instant, which makes this chain with a dash attack as a true combo, as long as you're very close to the enemy when they get into the wall. Either way, this thing has like no startup lag, very little end lag. You can be used against anyone, just like Pyroclasm. It comes with a free debuff, lowering enemies' attack and defense, and it punishes dodges really easily. You just gotta dash up to them after they dodge and then hit the button. This makes dodge canceling really risky the closer an enemy Vaan gets. Dodge canceling being one of a marksman's very basic tools available to them that they must use to survive. This is your butter for anti-marksman HP attacks. So what's the bread then? Puts an unbelievably high amount of pressure on the marksman should you choose to pursue them. If you don't counter anything, you can just keep going. If you counter something, you barrel towards them, deleting all projectiles in your way and just ignoring them completely. You can use it as a collateral to hit other nearby players. It keeps you invincible during the entire animation of you running forward and then exploding. It explodes, meaning that multiple players can get hit pretty easily, and unlike other people with counter-style HP attacks, it's not your only option. It's kind of like White Whirl, where it's a defensive-style HP attack, but unlike White Whirl, which throws out a really slow, giant pillar that can be deleted by another HP attack, this just sends you skyrocketing towards them, and it deletes projectiles. It just counters the entire point of a marksman, to have projectiles that are actually good. And with those few statements left, that about sums up my entire experience with HP attacks, Vaan, and how to deal with marksmen using them. Now, of course, as a specialist, you should try to fight the entire enemy team, not just one person. But sometimes due to your party makeup, your own teammates' foolishness, or the enemy's cleverness, but sometimes for a variety of reasons, including your teammates' foolishness, your team composition, the enemy players, you have to 1v1 a marksman yourself. So I hope this guide helped you learn how to do that. Hopefully you can apply some of this in your own gameplay, and I hope you get better at Vaan. He's a fun character to play as, and he just kills everybody. That's his whole character trait. Think about it, jeez, it really is. Just lowers HP for everybody. Anyways, I'm Blue the Hedgehog. Thank you for watching our video for today. I'll see you guys next time. Get better at Dissidia. Get better at anything you want, and believe in yourself. Alright, for real, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, hopefully. Doodles!